friends, I'm Deborah Kozlovic and I'm a Creative Memories Independent Advisor from Australia. Welcome to Creating Your Memories. Today I want to share with you a simple but different kind of layout that's not using any punches or anything like that, and it's called a mosaic layout. So we're just going to be using photos and a bit of designer paper. But first I wanted to show you something that I've done a couple of years ago, which is also like a mosaic look. And this is one of the ones that I've completed. It's when we went to Melbourne, so it's down at the Great Ocean Road. And all I did was I got a large printed photo done. So I made sure that the photo was no bigger than a 12-inch so that it would fit on my page, and if I was able to cut it down, I cut it down a bit. And the lengthways, I'm not sure what I got, but I think it might have been an 8 or a 10. I can't remember, exact size, but I know that when putting this on my page at the moment, it is just over 11 and a half, and the length is just under 7 and a half. So it might have been an 8 by 11 and a half, maybe. I'm not too sure, or an 8 by 11. But anyway, so consider it large if you wanted to do something like this. And then down the bottom, all I did was just place, the simple 4x4s. So each one of these, I sort of like made it as a title of each that we went to. So just going back, I'm just going to show you another one. So here's another one that I did, when we were at the Lock Arch George. So as you can see, I did a similar thing as I did back there. On this side, just move my page over. On this side, I've used just photos again, but I've used a Creative Memories template. And just using the template and just using, the leftover photos that I had just to make a different look. And then you can see all the different parts of the Lock Arch George. So continuing on, just seeing if I can find another one. So here's another one that I did, and that's just like the full part of the Great Ocean Road, seeing the apostles. So it's actually similar. And then this is another one that's also done, with just photos, some designer paper, but also using one of the Creative Memories templates. So if I go through my Elven, that's also a template that I've used, and that's also done with mainly just photos, some cardstock and some designer paper. So it's amazing what you can do, like without using your punches all the time, and your border maker your border cartridges and whatnot. You can actually just use a template. You can just use photos, cardstock, or designer paper. Not everybody might have punches, so this is a good opportunity of doing something like this, especially if you have a lot of photos of one occasion, but you want to try and use every photo, or there's different parts of that photo that you want to use. So you can actually do something like this with a template, or just like a mosaic look of using up those photos. So if I go through my Elven, just seeing what else I've done in here, like a mosaic look. I've done this one here. So this one's a bigger one again. And as you can see, I've got the photo printed of the length of our 12 by 12 pages. And then I've just cut them in strips, but left that gap in between. Not sure if there's any more. That one's similar to the same as what I've done before. So that's the London Bridge. And then here, the arch. And here's another one of the same one. I think it's called the Sun Rays template. So as you can see here, I've just, put a piece of designer paper, and the rest are just photos. So it's amazing how different they look when you're just using photos. So I'm just seeing if there's any more. No, I think that's about it. So I'm going to put this album aside now, and we are going to start on what I want to show you today. And today I want to show you a simple mosaic look. And here's one that I've done previously, and this is just done with photos and a couple of pieces of designer paper, and I backed it just on another piece of designer paper. And here's another one that I've completed, and that is just backed on, you know, with our normal cardstock. So as you can see, it gives it a different look. So to complete one of these with me today, I'll do it step by step to show you. So on here I've got written down, so this one here is a normal 6x4 photo. So make that middle photo as your wow on the page that, you know, you want that one to actually stand out. So you want that one there. It's just like here. So as you can see, this is the main photo on my page. So then you can use all, I've just gone through, you know, a bundle of my photos, which I have here, you know, and they're just random different size, you know, what is on the photo, and I've just cut them down. So then, you know, this one's a 6x4. These ones will be cut down to 3x3.5. These ones is a 2x5, and these ones are a 1 inch by 4. So I have my photos selected that I am going to be using today, and I am using collection I'm going to be using is What a Zoo 2. And this is when we went to Adelaide and we went to the safari. So I'm going to work on the meerkats today. And for my photo bases, for my main photo, which is the 4x6, I am actually using one of the variety mats because it's the right size that I want it. So that's a 6.5 by 4.5, and then my 6x4 photo will go on top of that. And then my next piece of paper, it's going to bring in my 12-inch trimmer. And I want that one, just cut off this edge. I think I'll have enough. Maybe I'll go down this way. So for the larger photo, I want a 5x7. So I'm just going to line up on the 7. And then go down to 5 and up. So there's my 5x7. So I'm just going to hear these two together. So I'm just going to put this one onto the variety mat, making sure that it's even. Might bring in my, just find it, is my centering ruler, just to make sure that everything is lined up. So that'll make it 1/4 of an inch around your photo. It's just sticking somewhere. So just see if that's even. So then I wanted to adhere this 4.5 by 6.5 onto my 5x7. As I said, this is your main centerpiece of your mosaic layout. So that will also have like 1/4 of an inch frame around the outside. So again, you can use your centering ruler to check this. So as you can see, this will be my main feature. And the only other tool that you would need today is your personal trimmer. I mean, not your personal trimmer, your personal trimmer, because that's your 12-inch trimmer. Sorry, I had to think about that. The next thing that I've got is I was trying to work out, you know, like with my photos, because they're mainly the brown looking, what color that I would use, you know, from What a Zoo 2 pack. So I've decided to use the green leaf one. So this one here will sit center in the middle. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to start cutting my series of photos. So I've got my instructions here. So I've sorted out my photos how I wanted my photos. So if I bring back in one of these layouts, so what I did was I want that as a 3.5, that as a 2x5, that one also as a 3.5. This one will be cut down in little strips, and so will that one. And then I've pre-cut these two, so that's a 3.5, that's 3.5x3, and that's a 2x2. So I've got my photos set out like that. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my other 3x3.5, I should say. And when you're doing that, just look at the photo of what you would like to target. So in this photo, I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can, there's a little meerkat just sitting over in here. So I want to make sure that I'm getting that in my photo. So that would be 3.5, 3.5 long, and then it's going to be, hang on, that's 3.5 wide. So I want 3 long. No, let me get this correct. So yeah, so 3 wide, 3.5 length. So I want it 3 by 3.5. So just looking at your photo again, seeing what you want to cut off. So I've got a 3.5x3, and then on this one I'm going to do exactly the same. So I want a 3 by 3.5. So looking at your photo, seeing that you want to target on your photo and get rid of the excess. So on this one I'm going to take from the top. So that is going to be 3.5. Which this one will go here. And this one goes there. And I just find out, just grab my other one. So this one will go in the middle. So with the water, my water hole sign, I want that to be, just look at my instructions, at 5 long by 2 wide. So it's just a matter of trying to center where you want to cut and what you want to show again. So I'm going to cut it 2 inches wide. And then I want to cut, so I know that's 6, so I want to cut around about 1/2 inch off either side. So I think that's, just going to mark it on here because I think the edge here is 5. But just to make sure, I'm just going to line up on my mat with my photo pencil and cut it to 5. So that one will sit at the top, And then we want to do exactly the same thing. Again, there is a meerkat just right there. So just looking at your photo and seeing what you want to cut. So I think I want to have more of the brown in my photo. So again, just cutting it too wide. And the meerkat's over this side, so I'm going to line it up and then just cut that end at 5. And then this one here will sit down the bottom. So the next is my side pieces. And they are going to be cut at 1 inch by 4. So I know that my photo is a 6 by 4 and I know that it's 4 long. So just looking at my photo, I'm going to cut, just going to line this up because I only need 3 strips of it. So to start off with, I'm just going to cut it down to 5. And then that will make 1, 2, 3. So we know that we want 3 bits. So I'm going to start at 4, cut it off at 1 inch, then go down to 3 and cut that 1 inch off, then down to 2 inch mark, cut that off. Let them layer on top of each other so you know that they're in order. And then the next one, 1 inch and 1 inch. So then now, just moving that up, if I look at my photos, I can see what's going to line up. So I want to take the outer ones away and I want to use the middle ones. So we're going to do again exactly the same thing with the opposite side. So I'm just going to cut it down to a 5 inch. So I'm going to take that end away. And then do exactly the same thing as what we did before. So we want to start at 4 inches, then 3 inches, then 2 inches, and then at 1 inch, and then lining them up again, seeing what you want to use. So I'm going to take that one away. So I'm going to think I'm going to use these 3 here again. So that's the basic part of my layout. So I'm just going to put all these leftovers away. And then we'll start pasting it down. By 13 inch cutting mat. So now I'm just going to transplant all these over to this piece of paper that I'm using, designer paper. And I think I've lost a meerkat somewhere. So these ones go here. I think that went like that. No, like this. And then one goes there, and this one, and this one. So I'm just missing one piece, wherever it may be. It's not a good start, losing a strip. Anyway, we'll get started and might come across that somewhere. Okay. Yep. It's a mystery. It's just go and walk about. So what I'm going to do is I'll just start adhering this down, and I might come across my missing strip. Otherwise I have to go through my other pieces that I've cut off to see if I can join that or find a different photo. So I've got my designer paper lined up on my 13 by 13 inch mat. So with the outer edge, we're going to be leaving a, just get my instructions here, a 3/8 frame. So 3/8, if you look at your centering ruler, 3/8 is just before the 1/2 inch line. So you've got 1, 2, 3. So that third dash before the 1/2 inch is 3/8. So we're going to leave a 3/8 frame around the side of this layout. The middle photo is the first one that we want to adhere down, and that will sit at 3.5 and 3.5. So it's just sitting just straight in the middle. So we'll adhere that down first. Just get my tape runner. So I'm just going to place that in the middle. And I will be using the centering ruler to get it lined up. So 3.5 by 3.5. In the middle. Like that. Oops, and it's upside down. It's not a good start, is it? Okay, let's just turn this around the right way and line it up again at 3.5. So our next ones that we're going to put down are the ones at the bottom. So I'm going to be using repositional tape for these ones, just so we can move them if we need to. So I'm just going to adhere the 3 of them. Okay, so we've still got this lined up down the bottom. I'm just going to use my smaller ruler because I find it a little bit easier to use, and I'm just going to line it up on that third dash, which is the one before your 1/2, and I'm going to put down my first photo, and that should leave like a 1/8 inch in between. And then this one here, which also just lines up in the middle, and you've got like a 1/8 inch in between. I'm thinking that this one might be a bit crooked. I think it needs to go up a little bit. So we'll line that one back up again. Okay, so the next, still haven't found that other bit that we're missing. I'm just going to take those 1 inches off. So now I'm just going to turn my page around and I'm going to hear these from the bottom. So again, I'm just going to be using repositional tape. So again, using that 3/8 of a frame. So remember that it's that dash before the half line. So yeah, so because I've got it upside down, you put your photos upside down as you're doing it, so they're facing the right way. And then the last one. So as you can see, once you cut your photos, the page comes along very quickly. Just going to move this one over a little bit. It's not lining up with my 5/1 above, because you've got to remember that this is a 5" as well. So let's do that again. I think this one's also moved. Okay, so I'm just going to line my page back up again. Putting it down. Doing this one again. And then this one. Okay. So now we're going to adhere the 1 inch. So trying to keep them in line. Sometimes, you know, depending on your photo, they could be easy to match up. So again, we're just going to doing that 1/8 between. So sitting on that now, that should line up at your sort of like 1/8 before the 4. So the next one you want to sit it at is 4. And this is just like putting a like a jigsaw puzzle together. So it's just leaving a gap in between. I'm not adhering them properly down yet because I know that I have to move the middle one. So sometimes it's best, just have to fix this one up. So sometimes it's good probably just to, I found putting your outer one on and your inner one near your main photo, and then slotting the middle one in between, so that way it gives it the same distance on either side. So I'm just moving this one over, and then the same with this one. And then having that little gap in between. And I've got mine around the wrong way because they don't line up. See, yeah, they don't line up. So this one will go here. So I've got those ones around the wrong way. So let's do that again. As I said, it's like a little jigsaw puzzle. The best part about using the repositional tape on this, that way you can lift it up easy enough. And that is wrong again. So I I think I might just start all over again. This one goes there, then that one, then that one. Okay, so let's try one more time. So again, lining it up at that 4-inch line, and we'll put our outer ones on first. And then slot the middle one in between. Okay, there we go. That looks better. Everything's aligned up there now. So now we've got this one here, which I'm not sure how, but I have a missing piece. So I'm going to find that little piece. I did find my missing piece. It was stuck under the personal trimmer. So now I'm going to leave my middle one up there and just adhere my end pieces so I don't get them all mixed up like we did on the other side. So again, I'm just going to use my ruler and we're going to line it up at the 4-inch mark again, and we want to put the end one on, and then this end one, and then placing our middle one in between, and then just adjusting them as need to be. Okay, so there is my page. Okay, so there is my page, doing a mosaic look. As I said, it's a very simple way of doing a page if you've got lots of photos. So now I can actually do another page of my meerkats to use a few more of my photos up, and that'll be done for that, you know, one certain animal. In my What a Zoo 2 on the stickers, they don't have meerkats at all on that. So I think you know, like having the little waterhole sign up there makes a little bit of a title. But looking in my photos, I did find that I did take a photo of, you know, check me out and a meerkat sign. So I think on my other page layout I would use these two photos to go onto the other page so we know what they are. But with this layout, how it is with, you know, like all the photos looking like a mosaic look, I wouldn't add any stickers or embellishments, because I don't feel that they need anything extra. By looking at these two, you know, these 3 photos here, you don't need to add extra on that, otherwise it's going to take away your look of how you've set out your photos. So have a go today. It's very easy, very simple, you know, like doing your photos and cutting them down. I will have to say, within this one here, it's got a different look than this one here. It's because when I done this layout, I didn't have an extra, you know, photos that actually went the long ways with your 6x4. I only had the 4x6, so as you can see, it's not the same length as 5 inches. So all I did was I cut down these ones 2x4, and then I added another 1x2 on the side to make that standard as I've done in here as a 2x5. So think about that as well, that you can add a little extra if you don't have the correct you know, sizing in your photos, or your photos not sitting the same way that you are wanting it to cut. So you can, you know, like add, if you want to add in between some designer paper, one of these 3 by 3.5, you could add like a little journal box if you wanted to. Or you might want to like do a little embellishment part in one of these little boxes. This one could also be made into like a journal box if you like. So I mean, there are different ways that you can actually try and do, you know, this mosaic look with your photos. Let me know how you go, and happy scrapping everyone. Thank you.